Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Chris here, and we are back with another bottle kill. And today, this was amazing. I love Highland Park. Everything I've ever had from Highland Park has been absolutely incredible. This is no exception. The only bad thing about this is that it is gone after this, which totally sucks, because this is getting hard to find. This is number 2 in the Viking series. I'm still looking for number 1, so if anybody out there has the number 1, which is called the Valkyrie, let me know. I will, if you're looking at getting rid of it, I'm totally 100% would love to have it, because I don't have that one. I have the Valknut, which is number 2, and I have the Valfather, which is number 3. But I don't have the Valkyrie, so that would complete the set. I'm really looking for the Valkyrie. So if you got that, let me know. But this came out here in 2019. This is, like I said, from the Viking tribute here. And man, I just love all the artwork on this. This was made by a guy called Jim Lingenvild. He's a Dane, just like me. But he lives in Denmark. I live in Canada. And he did all the art on this, and he did a really great job. I would love if Jim, if you're listening, I would love it if you were to, if I could ever hook up with you sometime, sign a bottle for me, or a box, you know, maybe the box, because this is all your artwork on here, man, and I just love it. And I love the Viking. There's our Canadian Canada Goose. Yeah, I love the Viking stuff. I love the Viking ruins. You know, like I said, my family's from Denmark. Very proud of my Viking heritage. Even though I've never been to Denmark, closest I've ever come was Greenland. I was doing a narwhal expedition on a King Air 200, and which is, oh, there goes a King Air 200 right now as we speak. Well, that was convenient. Almost right on time, like we planned that. But anyway, I was flying King Air 200 out of a place called Resolute Bay, and I don't know if I told this story before, but anyway, the Inuit went out and they were going off in their polo ground, and they got chased back by these red bear, and they're like, oh, the red bear chases back, and people are like, what the hell are you talking about, red bear? Well, what had happened was, it was up at Pond Inlet, and Pond Inlet, check him out. Like, you got to check out Pond Inlet. Just Google search Pond Inlet. To me, I've been all over North America, and to me, and lucky enough to be almost every square inch of the Arctic, Pond Inlet, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It is beyond stunning there. It is just, I would be very happy if I could live in Pond Inlet all my life, or had a house up there and went to visit, but it's way the hell up at the North Pole, pretty much. It's right up into the Arctic Circle. Like, it is way up there. Like, if this was Toronto to Miami, Florida, this would be Pond Inlet to way the hell far and gone, down to like Yellowknife, you know, or the you know, Edmonton or something like that. Like, it is so far up north, but it was beautiful. And what we did was we took out a King Air with some of the elders and the biologists, and we went out and we're flying 50 feet above the ground, so below the horizon. So normally you're flying up here above the horizon, you can see everything and you're fat, dumb, and happy, it's super easy to fly. Here we're below the horizon, so you don't have any sense of how high you are, because you're below the horizon. And we were below the horizon because at 100 feet, that's where the ice fog was. So we had to stay below the ice fog or be freezing up, and you wouldn't see anything anyway, because now you're flying around the fog. So we're down around 50 feet, and we're super slow, and constantly on the instruments. I was telling my co-pilot, I said, just keep an eye on my vertical speed indicator, which tells you if you're climbing or descending, and my airspeed indicator, which tells you basically if you're climbing or descending, you know, you're speeding up or slowing down. And we were going pretty slow, so we didn't want to slow down or we'd stall, and we certainly didn't want to speed up because that meant we were in a descent and we're only 50 feet above the ground. And 50 feet above the ground at the speeds we were flying at, even though they were very slow, would take a second and a half and you're in the ground. And we couldn't put the autopilot on because it hunted by 50 feet, especially in a turn. So I was hand flying the whole thing, and after 10 hours of doing that, I was like done. So I got my co-pilot to fly back to Resolute Bay out of Pond Inlet. But anyways, we're flying all over the place, and we ended up flying right up the Greenland coast. So that was as close to Denmark as I came, because Denmark owns Greenland. But I would love to get over to Denmark. Beyond love to get over to Denmark. If anybody's getting married in Denmark and is looking for a really good photographer, I would come over to Denmark and shoot your wedding for super cheap, just to get the experience to go to Denmark and hang out. In fact, I would pretty much do that to Scotland and England and Sweden and places like that. Just for the experience, just to get over there, do some traveling. But anyway, this art, this incredible art, was from Jim Lingenwald, and he apparently is the 36th great grandson of the first Earl of Orkney, and his name was Ragnar Elvensteinsson or something like that. Anyway, pretty cool. They say 1 in 3 Orcadians are have some Viking blood in them. Because Orkney, where this is from, is the highest island in Scotland. So you got all of Scotland down here, and you got Orkney sitting way up here, kind of all by itself, looking all cool and like, I don't need anybody like that. You guys, like, we'll defend ourselves. You go to hell. And then the Vikings over here in Norway and Denmark are like, oh, let's go see what's out here. Oh, we got some land. There's nobody around. And I don't know if that's how they talk. Anyway, they were like, let's go for a visit. Doodly-doo-doo-doo-doo. And initially they were the raiders, and they went over and they took whatever the hell they wanted. But then we kind of started hanging out with these guys and became friends with them. And they traded, they became farmers, they lived there, brought wives back to Norway and Denmark, had wives in Norway and Denmark, they had husbands, and they were kind of all over the place. And the Vikings were there from like 800 to like 1468 or something like that. So they're all hanging out there. So it's a very Nordic Viking island, which is so cool, and I definitely want to go to Orkney as well. So anybody's getting married in Orkney is looking for a really good photographer, one of the top 10 best in Canada, top 30 best in North America, just won a bunch of different awards for the top photographer here in Manitoba and Winnipeg. Yeah, I think I'd love to get over there, do it for you guys super cheap, just to have the experience of coming over there, shooting some really cool weddings, hanging out with everyone, and picking up stuff like this. So, yeah, so really great distillery over there. And like I said, they are way the hell up here, and Scotland's down here, and Norway and Denmark are up here. So, and then Norway and Denmark are here, Orkney's here, and then if you go straight over to North America, I used to live up here in Resolute Bay, Iqaluit. Well, Iqaluit's like way down here. Resolute Bay was up here. Iqaluit was way down here. So they are basically on the same path, equator latitude, as where I lived in Pond Inlet at almost the North Pole. Not quite, but almost the North Pole, but the Arctic Circle. And if you went right around here, there's Orkney, and there's Denmark and Norway. So they are in the Arctic Circle, and up in the Arctic Circle and up north, even in like places like even, well, no, they have a little, yeah, they have some. I was going to say Yellowknife, but because I used to live in Yellowknife, they do have trees up there. But anyway, there's no trees up there. So how do they get their peat? Because peat is, you know, decayed wood and roots and everything. Well, they have decayed heather and botanicals. So, and they're 4,000 years old. So there's no wood up there, so you don't have that woody notes to it like you would like with a Lafroig, a Lagavulin, a Kilchoman, Lag, stuff like that, because where they are located, they are not in the Arctic Circle. They're down where below the tree line, so there's trees there. So the wood that the peat that they're getting has a lot of wood influence. Whereas in Orkney, there's no wood influence. It's a little island, just over 3,000 people there. They have less than that. It's a small little island. I don't even know how many people live there. Not very many, and on both sides you're just getting blasted by like cold Atlantic water and winds and tons of sea salt, so it's all over their barley, and it's super cold, and there's no trees up there, so they don't have any wood influence in their peat, but they do have heather and other botanicals. But what they do have, because you're thinking, the Arctic Circle, because when I lived in Resolute Bay in Espankalowit, sometimes it'd be down to like -40, -45, -50. Although in Winnipeg, sometimes it's even colder in Winnipeg than it is up in the Arctic Circle. And a couple of times in Winnipeg, where I live, right here, it's sometimes colder than the surface of Mars. Go figure with that. But in the Arctic Circle, or Resolute Bay, -40 to -50. Orkney, same latitude, +2 degrees in the winter, +16 degrees in the summer. And they're like, how in the hell is that even possible? Well, they have what's called the jet stream. And the jet stream is, you gotta check it out. Just Google search what the jet stream is. Basically, what the jet stream is this big mass of air kind of comes along, and it kind of, like, say you've got, I'll use Winnipeg for example. You'll have, you have all this warm air coming up from some California, Mexico, and it'll come up to the it'll come up to the jet stream. So the jet stream just kind of goes like this, kind of all around the earth. So you have all this warm air coming up from the south. The jet stream comes down, and it's the border. It goes, you're not getting any past us. You're going to stay warm down here, and all the cold air from the north comes down to here, and like, you're not going any further south than that. You're staying right here. We're gonna keep all the cold air here on the north side and all the warm air on the south side, and it moves, right? So sometimes here in Winnipeg, in say February, you'll have the jet stream, and it'll be way up high like this, and you'll have all this warm air coming up from California, and Winnipeg's down here, and we're inside the warm side of the jet stream, and it's like, oh my god, it's like +1, +2 in February here in Winnipeg. And then you got all the cold air up here, right? So, but then next week the jet stream might move, because it's constantly moving, and now it's way down here, and now you've got like all this cold Arctic air coming down. It's like -50, and now it just sits there, and it's like, and Winnipeg's in here now, and you got all this super cold air being stuck in Winnipeg, or where we're at. And then sometimes the jet stream just doesn't move. It's like, I'm just gonna park my ass here, and I'm gonna sit here for like 3 weeks, and it's gonna be -50 for 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna move off. All right, and then it starts to warm up. So it's like that in Orkney. The jet stream is sitting down like this. Orkney's on the warm side. You have the Arctic air on the north part here, the cold side. So you have all this warm air still that sits up over Orkney, and it gets like +2 degrees in the wintertime, and then +16 in the summer. So it keeps all that cold air from coming down into Orkney, and it's really great for them because they get the cooler temperatures sitting in their warehouses, and it lengthens the time and for them to age their whiskeys, and it evens everything out. It's just so smooth. You don't get these high spikes or anything like that. It's just nice, even, constant temperature, about 14 degrees from winter to summer. So it's very even. You get some really great whiskeys out of it that way. And then they hand malt all their barley. So they don't have a machine on the malting floor, They actually have a guy there with a shovel and a rake, and they do everything by hand. So everything's old school in Highland Park. And it really shows in their whiskey. And everything I've ever had has been absolutely amazing, from Orkney. But like I said, I'm a big Viking fan, you know, with my Nordic roots, and the fact that these guys went full on with that kind of stuff, I just, you know, paying tribute to their past, I think is just absolutely incredible. I just love it. It's a really dark bottle here, which is, some people love them, some people don't, but I don't seem to mind it, because not every bottle's like this. Most of them are all clear with all the ruins and everything on it. These ones just make it a little different, and it looks cool, and the label really pops on this bottle. Another cool thing about this is you try to open it up like this. I can't open the goddamn thing. You gotta turn it, right? So it's like a locking system on it. You just turn it, and then it comes off. That's a nice pop. Oh my god, does it ever smell good? So, I don't know how much is left in here, because it's hard to see, but I don't think there's very much. Yeah, not very much at all. But just absolutely beautiful, beautiful whiskey. They use 4 different types of casks in their whiskey. So they use American oak, they use ex-bourbon, they use European oak, and they use sherry. So lots of complex flavors to this particular whiskey. This one here is 46.8%, so quite high, but not cask strength, but just a lot of flavor, a lot of complexity to this whiskey. Slightly lightly peated, no medicinal or woody characteristics, because there is no wood, but it's all like this heather, sweet, botanical peat. So it has a sweeter peat smell, peat flavors, smoke flavors to it, but is lightly peated, and just full on freaking awesome. So yeah, this is a Highland Park Valknut, and I know I've talked about this in the past. I'm going to put a picture of what the Valknut looks like up here right now, and what that is so cool. If you are a Viking warrior and you're out there fighting, doodly doo to do, and then you get killed, and you're on the battlefield, you hope to God that you got this Valknut tattooed on you, on this ruin on you, because when the Valkyries came in, they were like sorting through the bodies, like, oh, this guy's good, this guy's not good, I don't like the looks of his boots, he's not coming with us, I steal those. But they'll look for this symbol, and this Valknut, this triangle, triple triangle on it. And if you have that, that means you've died a warrior's death, and you are worthy of Valhalla. So they take you to Valhalla, and you're hanging out with the gods and all the other warriors there, and you're drinking and partying and fighting and checking out all the chicks and having a great old time. And then you get ready to go to Ragnarok. And that is the end goal of every Viking, is to go to Valhalla and be able to fight in Ragnarok. But you can only do that if you had the Valknut on you. So that is the story of the Valknut. So let's get into this. You can see it's just a beautiful color to it. Like this is a nice little pour to it. So about probably 2 ounces on it. Not quite a quig-sized pour. You gotta check out this guy's food quig. His name's Andy. Don't know his last name. Drives taxi in Vancouver Island, in Victoria. I visited Victoria many times. I lived in Nanaimo when I got there, on Commercial Street, in a basement apartment with my buddy Dean Danino and Billy Abraham. The 3 of us were living down there on air mattresses and had a great old time. And then I moved up to Courtney, and then lived between Courtney and Campbell River. And Campbell River is famous for Shelter Point whiskey, and you've seen a lot of that, which is super awesome. But that's another story, and that's another whiskey, and we've got lots of Campbell Shelter Point stuff to go through in the future. But anyway, so where the hell is I going with this story now? Like Grandpa Simpson. Hey, we can't bust heads like we used to, but we can have stories that absolutely go nowhere.
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time. They didn't have white onions because of the war.
It's kind of like this. I don't remember where the hell I was going with my Vancouver Island story. But anyway, take a look at this color. It's absolutely incredible. Amazing, amazing, amazing looking color to it. You can definitely tell that it's got a little bit of sherry cask notes to it, but it's also, you know, quite clear. Really nice gold color to it, and it's got this beautiful, slightly smoky notes to it. I know where the hell I was going with this. Food Quig, Andy. God damn it! What the hell's wrong with me? Anyway, this guy named Food Quig, he's really quite the character. He does whiskey reviews out in Victoria. He's a taxi driver, and he's got this crazy ass wall behind him. It is like all of boxes like this, and he's got them all stuck behind him in his apartment. He does really great reviews, entertaining guys. He's even got a taxi vlog. I've watched all those because I find them just really, really, really interesting. And I've watched all of his videos. I've watched all of his lives. Sometimes he's really noted for these long ass lives, you know. But when I'm downstairs working in my office, I'll put on one of those, or I'll put on some of his lives. These long, like 3, 4, 5, 8 hour videos. Sometimes when I'm lying in bed at night, I'll just have the tablet going, and I'll kind of fall asleep to the sweet melodic sound of Food Quig.
The bottle is a little taller, and the cap is a little different from Crown Royal I had before. And it would say Canadian whiskey, but here it says Fine Deluxe Canadian whiskey. Now, is that another blend, or is it rebranding, or is it just marketing?
And but he is known for his pours. So you got like this here's about 2 ounce pour. A Food Quig pour is like up to about here. It's just right at the edge of the bowl. And yeah, and then he's got this really kind of a cool way. Like, I can't do it. I don't think anybody else but the Quig knows how to do it. But I'll like coat the glass like this to aerate it, and you know, and just kind of let it breathe that way, right? And then you can smell it, right? So, but he does this really weird thing. It's like they call it the anaconda. The Bart, I believe it was, from Scotch Test Dummies, named it that. You check out Scotch Test Dummies. These guys are really, really cool down in the States. They do a lot of really great videos. Check out Food Quig. Check out Trini and C. Really great guys, and really entertaining videos. So, yeah, it's and they have do a lot of videos. They got tons and tons and tons of videos, way more than I do, and they've got so much experience, and just great guys to listen to, you know, do their YouTube videos. So check them out. I'll leave some links in the description below. But yeah, highly suggest you take a look at them. But anyway, so Quig, and he like I said, he does this really weird anaconda kind of thing, and I don't know how to do that. I just kind of like swirl it around. Kind of the rule of thumb, and this is a non-age statement, so we honestly don't know how old this is, but say this was a 10-year-old, for example, and their rule of thumb would be a year in the cask is a minute in the glass. So this is a 10-year-old whiskey. You would want to let this sit for 10 minutes to open up. And so a lot of times I'll do that. I'll pour the whiskeys and I'll just let them sit and open up. And I kind of do the same thing for wine and everything like that too. But then you want to coat the glass, kind of get it aerated a bit. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be doing this, because what this does is you can do this for wine, no problem, because wine is like 12 to 15%. And then you take a smell. Yeah, it smells like wine. It still smells great. But you do this and you're aerating. Minimum whiskey is 40%. This is 46.8%. So what you're doing is you're like going ahead, you're swirling this around, you're getting all that smells out, and then you put your nose to it, and what you're getting is blasted with 46.8% alcohol. Not a great way to start a whiskey. You're going to burn your smell out right away. So you just, either you let it sit and open up, or you just coat it just nice and gently like this, and you just let it roll around and coat the glass. You can look for the legs, which tells, you know, is it a viscous whiskey or wine, you know, so how complex is it, you know, that kind of stuff. And then you know, you look at the color, and you take a smell, and there's like, man, does that ever smell good? That, like I said, it's got that heather, botanical, more heather, light, very light smoke, lots of heather notes to it, some vanilla. Yeah, it's definitely some smoky notes to it. Yeah, it's just really nice. It smells sea salt. It smells really, really, really good. But yeah, so let's take a taste here. I'll let it. See it. Yeah, sounded like it could have been probably a king air of some sort. Probably a king air. You know, my dad and I were both retired pilots, and I think every pilot, you see an airplane go by, you gotta look at what kind of plane is that. It's weird. But anyway, let's take a taste and see what this guy here tastes like. This is the last of the bottle that I have here. I'm gonna have to get some more of this because I absolutely love it, but this is getting harder and harder to find. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'm gonna get it. If you do have a line on the Valkyrie, let me know. But the last whiskey box that I gave away with samples, this was definitely in it. So lucky winner, I got 2 ounces of this, and this is amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Very limited, very cool, tastes incredible, and like I said, I've got to get another bottle because I really, really, really enjoyed this one. Oh my God, is that ever good? Wow. Right away you got that spicy note to your tongue, like that cinnamon notes, like some fruity notes to it. So like very light peat smoke, but kind of a smoky flavors. Dried fruits like figs, apricots. You got some nuttiness and some creaminess to it. So you got almost like those dark chocolate covered almonds as you kind of suck them, and you got the chocolate kind of coming off in your mouth, and then you've got the crunchy little nutty notes in it afterwards that have been toasted.
That's what she said. Or he said.
It's kind of like that. Really, really, really nice. Just a beautiful Scotch, and it's Highland Park. I mean, honestly, I love everything that Highland Park's got. You know, if they weren't so goddamn expensive, you know, some of the higher ones are really, really expensive, way out of my price range. I would try to collect them all. It'd be like Pokemon. I'd try to collect them all, but I would go broke. My wife would not like me very much, and our little pud needs treats, so I can't do stupid stuff like that. So I have to stay within a reasonable budget. She's super, super, super cool, like really cool wife. Anybody who knows my wife, her name's Kathy, by the way. Anybody who knows Kathy, and all my friends, everybody that's ever met her, says she's like one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. She's so chill, so cool, so laid back, really pretty, but really just a really nice person, but just so chill, you know, and very welcoming, and just really, really, really cool, you know. Like, if I've got friends of mine that come home with a bottle of whiskey, and they've got to hide it, you know. And my wife was like, "Oh, did you get one? You know, well, how was spirit release? How many bottles did you get? You know, like, I hope you had a really great time, and are your friends coming in, and you know, do we need snacks and stuff like that?" She's just such a nice person. So I got lucky, very lucky that I met her. We've been married almost 30 years. In May, next May will be 30 years. So very, very, very lucky. But this is an absolutely amazing whiskey. cool and as laid back as my wife is, if I spent tens of thousands of dollars on bottles of whiskey, or on one bottle of whiskey, I don't think it would last. I don't think it would end very well. But I wouldn't do anything crazy like that either. I'm not crazy, and I'm not a multi-millionaire or a billionaire. So, yeah. So we don't do stuff like that. But that being said, if you watched any of my other videos of I've still got to put 2 more videos out. I still have to film one, and I still have to release another. But it is my Scotch cellar. I was doing some maintenance in it, and I think I got the first 4, maybe 5 videos out of all the sections and stuff of all the whiskey that I've got in there. So there's a lot, and she's super chill with that. So yeah, so there you go. But this is really, really, really nice. Very, like I said, light smoke in your mouth. Some cinnamon spice that coats the tongue and the sides. Very mouth-watering. Lots of dried fruits. Lots of caramel and some vanilla. That chocolate-covered almond that slowly melts in your mouth, and then you've got that toasted nuttiness of the almond left over. Just a really incredible, really good whiskey. I definitely have to get another bottle of this, for sure. But like I said, they're getting a little harder to find because they are. I think this came out in 2019, so 5 years ago, and they were only made in limited amounts. So limited edition. I totally missed out on the first one like an idiot, but not the second 2. So the Valkyrie, if anybody has the Valkyrie, please let me know. I would love to make a deal with you guys somehow. We can figure something out. Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Share this with anybody who you may have interest in it. I do have an Instagram channel, and which is called Whiskey, Cigars, and Bond, and I do have a Patreon and a PayPal account. So if it's anything you guys are interested in helping out the channel with, everything that we bring in goes right back out to you guys. So there may be I might be able to get some full bottles to send you, full boxes of cigars, cool sunglasses, maybe kind of like anything James Bond kind of stuff, watches or whatever, knives, some cool stuff that I could that I can get through any of the donations that do come through. So if it's something you guys want to do, I'd really appreciate it. If not, that's super cool and chill. Like I said, everything that's been on the channel so far, I have bought my own money, except for one bottle, which was really kindly donated to me by Shelter Point. That was their 10-year-old, so I really appreciated that. That was my first bottle first thing that was given to me. Oh, and these really cool knives too, by Delta 7 Gear. My really good friend Alexander Forsyth, he donated those knives for me to use, to do my unboxings with, to talk about, share. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of those, because those knives are super cool. And Alex is a commercial helicopter pilot now, so really super proud of him. Young guy, it's just great family guy, comes from a really great home, and he's doing a really great job, and a really cool entrepreneur. So yeah, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really truly appreciate it. Hope to see you guys soon. This is number 2 bottle kill, so let's put that down like that. There we go. Didn't fall over or anything like that, so that's good. We've got one more that we've got to do. It's getting a little peatier. We're going to Isla next, and hope to see you guys there. So take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.